What's up, everybody? It is me, Avilo. Guess what I am doing? I am making a video strategy guide. So those of you that have been watching me play Legacy of the Void, you probably have seen me doing this in like every single game. But what is this video going to be about? This video is going to show you the blueprints for playing Sky Terran, for becoming a Sky Captain. You're going to basically see everything you need to know, because this build is a very solid build. It's just, this is the most solid thing that I've been, doing in practice. This game that I'm actually going over, I chose as the example game to show you guys this strategy because I played this game off stream, and I feel it really I feel like it was a really clean game. There weren't too many mistakes, and you can really see the strength of the build. So the game starts off normally, 1 Rax FE with the Reaper. Once again, I don't recommend memorizing supply numbers. You don't need to do that. You just need to know the order of buildings and that you need constant SCV production the whole way through the game. But as we get into the game here, guys, the main things to keep in mind are, in Legacy of the Void, mech is indirectly weaker due to the economy, and also due to tank sucking and cyclones sort of being a little bit inefficient at the moment until maybe they're patched or changed. And so this style, this Sky Terran style, for the longest time people always used to ask, like, can you go Sky Terran? Can you do Sky Terran? And it used to be like a joke. It used to be like a running joke, like, haha, I'll play Sky Terran this game because people want to see me try to win with air units. It was more of like a gimmick style in Heart of the Swarm. Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm is very much a very gimmicky, flimsy style. And I always told you guys, I'm just like, fuck, like, guy, you want me to lose, don't you? You want me to fucking lose the game because you're trying to make me, you guys are encouraging me to play a style that doesn't work. But guess what? In Legacy of the Void, it does work. It actually is. This style is so strong that it is actually it is a standard, it is something that is viable that you can play like Bio now, like it's a standard style.
Add-on complete.
So basically what I'm doing here is I'm going into Reactor Hellions and Banshees. I have my natural going up, triple CC. Some people might think this is greedy, but in Legacy of the Void this is actually not greedy, this is actually standard to go for the triple CC build. And so the idea is, you get out Hellions to, the standard Reactor Hellion, so you can deal with Zerglings if they try and Baneling bust you. But here's the key thing. Here's the thing that I found out through practice of doing this. You'll notice the starport here.
Complete.
This game I saw that he wasn't going for like a Roach all-in. I managed to get enough scouting done that I felt comfortable that he wasn't doing the Roach Ravager nonsense. But if he was doing Roach Ravager nonsense, you would want to get a Banshee first instead of a Liberator. But here's the thing. So I get out 1 Liberator here. I get a Liberator to chase down Overlords and whatnot. I'm making Hellions, and then I switch this over to get a Banshee. Now here is the defining characteristic of this style that I want to point out. It's these extra 2 starports here. Normally, if this was a Wings of Liberty mech, or if this were Heart of the Swarm mech, you would throw down like an armory, and you'd go up to 3 factories, and you'd have a reactor starport, and you'd be making 2 Vikings and tanks and Thor based mech. But this is Legacy of the Void, and we have a unit called the Liberator, guys. So, and also Banshees have a very important upgrade, Banshee speed, when you get a fusion core. So essentially, because tanks are really weak to Ravager, because Ravagers right now are a little bit OP, instead of making tanks, you spend all that gas on Banshees. You get the speed Banshee upgrade, and you use Liberators are like, in place of tanks. Banshees are in place. Well, Banshees are just good. Banshees are like ridiculously good, especially with the Banshee speed. So, so basically, I initially started off with the starport and the reactor factory. I made a second reactor with a barracks for my starport so I can start cranking out Liberators 2 at a time and then these 2 extra starports and the extra factory. So your production setup will be 3 starports, 2 with tech labs, 1 with the reactor, and then 2 factories, 1 with the reactor, 1 with the tech lab. Have the double armories here, and these armories are actually going to be researching air upgrades, not ground. And that's a huge difference from Heart of the Swarm to Legacy of the Void. I'm actually researching the air attack instead of the ground attack, because I'm not going to be using too many ground mech units other than Hellions to soak up damage. So far you can see we're just speeding through this game here. I scanned his lair. You always want to... That's the next important thing, is scanning the lair to see when they're going for a hive. But the beauty... Let me slow down the replay here again. The beauty of this style is, essentially, these Banshees. The beautiful thing about these Banshees, they give you such good map control, and they allow you to deal with Ravagers. And you may be wondering, like, okay, but what if they build mutas or corruptors? Liberators deal with mutas, but to deal with corruptors, you actually have to play defensively. So if your opponent goes for like 8 to 12 corruptors, you actually need to build like a turret farm in front of your choke point. So in a moment here, you'll see me throw down like, there we go. You'll see me throwing down a lot of turrets, and these seem very random, but Liberators in combination with missile turrets actually can hold off a hell of a lot. It's just ridiculously efficient, and once again, for all you guys that have seen my stream and seen me do this style, you guys are probably like, yeah, we know, it's really fucking good, really strong, really viable. And so the idea here is, my unit comps can be Liberators, the Banshees to harass, you put those on separate hotkey. I believe I'm getting Banshee speed, or yeah, so I just started Banshee speed. My opponent, of course, so what is the counter to this right now, or what does Zerg naturally do? Well, once again, they have Parasitic Bomb, which is pretty OP at the moment as well. And so you need something to counter Parasitic Bomb, and that's what Ghosts are for. You'll see in a little bit here, I'll add on 2 extra barracks, and that's like the final, the final piece of the puzzle on how to play out this style. There's the 2 extra barracks you see me putting down. That's going to be for Ghost production. And so yeah, I'm just harassing with my Banshees. He Parasitic Bombed one of them. And you'll notice my production is all... I'm still building a couple siege tanks from that Tech Lab factory. I'm researching Ghost cloaking, and you have to remember, when you play this way, you're going to have so many Liberators, your opponent probably isn't going to go mutas, they're going to go, like, ground. And that's why you're building Banshees, you're building Liberators, you're still building some tanks. You'll also notice, it is very important to use your Liberators in the most efficient way possible. You don't want to siege them with too much you don't want to siege where the circles are overlapping too much. You want... So, like, 4 Liberators can cover from right here on the screen. Like, where you see I'm making this box, 4 Liberators can cover literally that much of the screen. They can cover, you know, all of this with just 4 if you position them really well. And that's something that people will get better with as they play Legacy of the Void more. But you'll notice in all my games that I'm spacing my Liberators out quite well. So he's actually attacking enemy here. And this army looks really, really fierce. Like, you would think, like, if I had a purely mech army, he might actually be able to kill me here. But the Liberators, in combination with the turrets and the tanks, he can't Blinding Cloud Liberators. So it's a decision he has to make. Does he yank the Liberators? Does he Parasitic Bomb the Liberators? The Liberator's still going to be killing his ground units. Does he Blinding Cloud my siege tanks? He can't do everything with his Vipers. And that's the beauty of this style. So even if your opponent is abusing the Viper nonsense, he has to choose, like, which one does he do? He doesn't have enough energy for all of those things. Not to mention you can hopefully EMP some Vipers anyways. But I actually clean up all of that. I won that battle. You can see I made Ghosts, they died, but that's okay. And during all that time, I actually had 7 Banshees that killed a base. So if we look at the minimap, I'm on 4 bases against 4 bases. that is your dream scenario as a meching, or in this case, Sky Captain Terran. Like, this is literally your dream scenario. You're on 4 bases, 8 gas against 8 gas, denied the Zerg's 5th, held off his attack, higher supply. Like, it's a dream scenario, but this happens quite often. Like, and that's the beauty of the Banshees. Rather than spending that gas on siege tanks, you're spending it on Cloak Banshees that are very mobile. They have the speed upgrade. You'll note, like, look at this. I'm chasing down Hydras. This is right now on normal game. I mean, it's the game speed, or in game. That's how fast the Banshees are moving with the speed upgrade. So you'll notice I'm kiting back, getting free kills, They're basically like the Marines of the sky, right? For a meching Terran or a Sky Terran or whatever you want to call this. But yeah, it's actually ridiculous. It's ridiculously effective, and you know, I know that I just killed his entire army. That's the reason I'm actually like pushing across the map here and like risking my units. I always tell you guys to not risk your units on the map, but I'm actually, and so there's the Vipers once again. He's recharging his Vipers. And that's the beauty of this. The 2 barracks late game are the last piece of the puzzle to deal with the Vipers, because Vipers are once again ridiculously OP at the moment. Blizzard hopefully will nerf them at some point. I believe they will, because Parasitic Bomb is a little too good in like too many situations. Anyways, if we continue on in the game here, I'm just gonna keep speeding through this. I'm gonna pause in a moment here so you can see what my army comp is, like what my army is made of, like once I move out. And you can see he's trying to deal with these Banshees are such a nuisance. 4 Banshees instead of a bunch of tanks is like ridiculously efficient. So, and that's the beauty of this, guys. You're able to deny distant bases on the map, bases that would normally be untouchable for a meching Terran, or you would have to commit like some Cyclones, or you'd have to commit like a siege tank and a Thor or something. The bases that are very far away from you on the map that you normally wouldn't be able to attack and kill, you have speed Banshee production to kill those with. And as long as you multitask well and you put these on a separate hotkey, you can have those apart from your main army and still have a ridiculously strong main army, and be able to deny faraway bases. It's very important to stay on top of this. Otherwise, the Zerg player will get, like, 5 spores at each base, which makes it a lot tougher to harass their bases. You want to try and not let them get those distant bases. So if we just pause here, if we look at the units tab, I have 17 Liberators, 5 Ghosts, 4 Tanks, 2 Hellions, 9 Hellbats, and a Thor. He has 10 Vipers, 42 Hydras. He has 42 Hydras and 10 Vipers. And his army is entirely Hydras. So while he may have not used the most efficient army that he could have this game, that is a ridiculously strong army. And all I have are essentially, like, my ground army is very, very thin compared to my air army. My air army is huge. But because Liberators are, very strong against ground, once again, I'm spreading them out. I'm trying to not overlap. Whenever you siege them up, try to not overlap. And I actually EMP'd all of his Vipers there, which, it changes the entire outcome of this late game. Being able to EMP those, it changes the fight. Like, now I'm able to attack this base because he has no Parasitic Bomb, and he's having trouble moving into this. And so, yeah, well, I'm just continuing on in the game. You'll actually notice I did add on 4 extra factories, because when you get to this point, if you can get to this point in the game, regardless of how I always tell you guys Cyclones are really bad, if you can get to the point in the game where you have a huge bank, they're okay-ish to... The thing is, Cyclones are too expensive right now, so they're bad to build early on, because if you build too many of them, your army is very, Cyclone heavy. But if you get to this part of the game where, like, both players are adjusting, he's adjusting his unit comp to mine, I'm adjusting mine to his, getting, a bunch more factories to add in the Cyclones can actually be really good in these very niche scenarios, I suppose you could say. But anyways, he's trying to counterattack me with those Hydras. And, like, just look at this. So once again, look how much this is. How many Liberators is this? 6 Liberators and you'll notice how I siege them up, and they're covering all of this. All of this is being covered by liberation zones. So this is all just, he can't just 1A through there, otherwise he's going to take a lot of losses. And you'll notice he has 8 Vipers. Once again, if I can EMP those, that's great. But here's the beauty of this, guys. Here's the beauty of of building so many Liberators and Banshees. I have so many Liberators that it's okay if he parasitic bombs them while my Liberator is in siege mode, because my Liberator is still going to trade for his ground units if he engages enemy. Even though I'm getting parasitic bombed and he's using those, I'm still trading. So I think I got another EMP here in a moment on those. But anyways, so once again, like, he's walking into the Liberators, trading. I have a huge bank, and you'll notice in the production tab I'm building 6 Liberators, 2 Hellions, 5 Thors. I think I probably even canceled those Thors, didn't I? No, I didn't cancel those, but anyways, it's just a really sick, it's a really sick army. It's a sick way to play, man. Now I'm building Cyclones, so I have like a bunch of Thors, tanks. And yeah, the Banshees from earlier on are what allowed me to get to this point in the game and have such a huge advantage. I have like 5k, you know, 2.5k bank. Once again, look at the production tab. 4 Banshees, 2 Liberators, 2 tanks. So it's mostly Sky Terran. And then when you get to this point, you know, you even have the Cyclones to cover the Liberators. It gets really good. Like, your army is a mech air army. It's pretty damn good. And that's the end of the game here. In a moment, this guy will GG. So yeah, this is the new Avilo Sky Terran trademark style. I would say the opener is probably the most important thing for you guys if you want to try and do this in Legacy of the Void. So far, my experience with the style is it's completely viable. I've done it. I've even played a couple people that I've played, you know, twice in a row on ladder, and they knew what I did the game before, and it still is pretty damn effective. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna put out another video as well about my TvT special sauce build that people have been asking about. So look out for that one. But yeah, see you guys later. Peace out, everybody.